Good afternoon to everybody on Zoom land and everybody on YouTube and TV land. I want to welcome you to our presentation, our interview. So this is a conversation about Cindy Bentley, 40 years community living and sitting at the table. And I am Felicia Claiborne. Next slide, please. I am Felicia Claiborne. At People First Wisconsin, I am the outreach project advocate. I am the vice chair for the Wisconsin Board for People with Developmental Disabilities. I am the board member for Disability Rights Wisconsin, board president for In Control Wisconsin. I'm a partners in policymaking grad of 2022. And also, I'm the owner of Abilities Travel Club, and I do a lot other things that cannot be fit on that screen there. So, Cindy, I'm going to introduce Cindy here. Next slide, please. Okay, there it is. I can't see. It's like I got a cricket in my neck. Okay. But anyway. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cindy Bentley is the executive director of People First Wisconsin. She is the author of Spirit of a Champion. Uh, she is on the Governor's Council on People with Developmental Disabilities. She's a council board member there. She is on the Milwaukee County, Combined County Service Board, the CCSB board, but the reason why we have to pronounce, yeah, but yeah, anyway. um, she is on the board for Life Navigators. She is a member of the partner of the Wisconsin Disability Vote Coalition. And she is a global messenger for Special Olympics and partners and policy making grant also. So
we just put, I'm on 10 board. Since we did this, there's 5 boards that were added.
yeah, she's on 10 boards now and 5 were added. So and so of that. So Cindy, I'm going to ask you a question today I want to thank you for being in the community for 40 years. Can we give a hand for that? 40 years. And I want to congratulate you on your 40th anniversary that we just had in May. And I know that it's kind of late, but it's still good to say it. And I want to let the audience know that we hope hearing Cindy's story will help you think about ways to get involved in your community and help others to get more involved. You know what? It's like each one reach one. So it's like you go and then that goes and that's go. So it's like that. We had 2 big parties here.
So we had 2 big parties. We had 2 big parties, one on a Friday. And guess what? I'm so happy. All my representatives from the governor on down, we have so many, what do you call those? And then one of them, my representative decided to make Cindy Bentley's, what was it called? I forgot. Proclamation. And so now I'm among other people that got it. But we have at least 5 or 6 plats we have to put up, and some we still have to put in. And I just said, somebody that had to live in the state, and it wasn't because I was bad. Back when I was born, that's where they put people. And so I fighted to get out of it. I had a guardian, which is Jan Fitzgerald. Unfortunately, Jan died a few years ago, but I just want to tell one story. During my party, Mary Fitzgerald, right? Yes. Jan's daughter, they had been looking for me where was Cindy, because Mick, which is their brother, they wanted me to come to Mick's funeral because he unfortunately died of cancer. So now me and Mary has gotten together, and then in a few weeks on November 9th, gonna get together with the two sisters. And believe it or not, they both lived in my neighborhood. We lived in the same neighborhoods, and they didn't know. Mary lives about 3 blocks from me, and then Ann lives over by what is that Catholic school? Saint whatever it is. And then she married a Bentley. My last name is Bentley, and her husband's name was Bentley. And so it's interesting. So that's all I wanted to tell you. But now we've been getting together. We went to some farmer markets. We have reunited, and Jan would be happy.
She would be definitely happy looking from above or whatever she may be in the afterlife. Okay, so we're going to play a video. Please click to where the video is. So this.
Yeah, we both can. But I want to tell you something. We got a call, or I got to face a thing. PBS wants to do a story about this and right. PBS. Listen. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, so at the anniversary celebration that we had in May, they played this video and it's called Choose the Pond, and it was amazing. So this is a gift to people with disabilities whose voices haven't been heard, and this is for people in the institutions. Can you imagine that people are still in the institutions all these years? And some of them we're still, when people first started, and I was there almost at the beginning, and our goal was to close all of them. And we still have to work at it. And people, this is a gift to people using home and community-based services. Okay. Children with disabilities and their families as a way to protect their future. And then people first, this is a gift to people first memories. It's always been her first priority. And then the people that she loves. So I want us to pay attention to the screen.
I'm a person that grew up in a state institution. While I was at the institution, the psychologist on the discharge staffing said I would not amount to anything. I would have to live in a group home and work in a shelter workshop. A, I don't work in a shelter workshop, and B, I do not live in a group home. I actually live in my apartment where I pay rent, I got a job, and I got friends. And I'm able to go where I want to go when I want. I think it is time to close the institutions. I believe in home and community-based services, a lot cheaper, and people live longer, I think. They're happier. I'm happy. You don't have to be like me, but they should have a right to live in the community. We have a lot of money tied up in the institutions in a nice way, and we need to bring that money back to our community. Good morning, this is Cindy. Oh, goody, I love that, okay. Yeah, so let me figure out about that. I don't leave for Madison till next Sunday, and then I'm gone till like Thursday, so that's the other. I never dreamed in my wildest dreams that I would be a director of anything. I had to work hard to get to where I am. Yep. When I was born, I was given 24 hours to live. My mom took drugs and alcohol. It left me with an intellectual disability and a serious seizure disorder. I was taken right out of my mother's arms. I was shipped to the foster care system, and my mom was shipped to the Cheetah prison. One foster mother set my shirt on fire. I was not expected to live, but somehow I lived through that. When I was 8, I was sent to live at Southern Wisconsin Center, an institution for people with disabilities. It was a lonely, horrible place where I did not have a voice or told what you could do. I cried a lot. No one was listening to me. I was scared. I just wanted to know if I'm going to have to live like this the rest of my life. And that's hard to admit that I did think about killing myself a few times. All I wanted to be is to be loved. The only good thing about the state institution was I taught myself how to read, went to school, and joined Special Olympics. I began to see myself as an athlete. I gained confidence. I started sort of believing in myself a little bit more, and I started even feeling better. So I have to say, Special Olympics changed my life. In the 1980s, new laws were passed to help people move out of the institutions into the community. I was very scared to leave the institution. I remember the day that I was discharged from Southern Center, I hid in the garage because I didn't want to leave. I didn't know anything but that home. At least I thought that was my home. Now I say no. I will never step in those grounds again. I was 26 years old, and that's when my life started. My guardian said, I'll be there every step of the way, which she was. I was too afraid to find out what was out in the community at first. But she said, you're not going back to the center. I had to learn how to budget money, how to cook, manage my safety, how to manage my time, get myself up, set an alarm, how to clean a bathroom, the bathtub, laundry. Oh God. First time I ever did the laundry, it all turned pink. All of it. So it's like, okay, whoops. After 3 years, I decided I didn't need a guardian. My guardian went to court with me. The judge agreed with me and ended the guardianship. And Mommy loves you so much, boo-boo. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when the skies is gray. Please don't take my sunshine away. I have lived in my apartment 39 years this year. I know my neighbors and help them too. Do some dog sitting and dog walking. I like to buy local and shop at farmer markets. I have the Irish, and they are helping me, and I got things in place. I am on the Life Navigators board, and then I'm in a harbor marine where I can be with other friends. I love this being out in my community. It makes me happy. Moving out of the institution made me healthier, because when I came out of the institution, I wasn't very healthy. I mean, seriously, the doctors had to take off a lot of medications. They never needed these medications. I think I got more confidence in trying things I never would have ever tried years ago. I would always say no. Everything was a no. No, 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 no. But now it's a yes, yes, yes. I love it. I try to make good decisions. I need to be able to fall down and pick myself back up like everybody else does. We're regular people. I like it when somebody tells me I can't do it. I'm going to do it. One thing I did do is I contacted the Special Olympic office to see if I could get on a team. Through there, I joined Athletes for Leadership program. I began to speak about my life to doctors, teachers, and police officers. I helped them understand how to work with people with intellectual disabilities and treat us with respect. I was chosen International Female Athlete of the Year. And then I was nominated to be a global messenger for Special Olympics International. I traveled all over the world speaking on behalf of Special Olympics and my story. I was invited to the White House 2 times, met 2 presidents, President Clinton and President Bush. Special Olympics not only changed my life, but it keeps you healthy. They teach leadership skills. The athletes have a voice. They ask us what we think. People started listening to me and respecting me. What I enjoy about Special Olympics, I want to give back. They gave me so much. So much. I always look at the window. When I first got out of the institution, I worked at a shelter workshop. It was not enough to do there. I put stickers on cookbooks. And then some other piecework. And I just said, I don't want to do this anymore. So I actually walked out of one day. I mean, I was bored. I needed more to do. Next job was a Y, loved it. Parents would drop off their children, and I would take care of them while they exercised. And then I got promoted. I had to get kids on school buses. There was about 10 buses I was in charge of. And then I also worked in the after-school program, which I loved. Then I went to the Shores Nursing Home and I volunteered, and then I got a job as an activity director there. I worked at Marshall Fields, McDonald's right by my house. I worked a fry machine, Playland. I helped them unload the trucks in the morning. So, yep. Do you have one like for the birds there that you can see out their window in there? I think for a long time, we've been hitting away. And people don't know about people with disabilities, but now they know more. I see more people in the community now with disabilities than I ever did. And they're realizing that we can work. We can hold down a job. We can get married. And we can even have children if we want to. I'd rather have a cat, thank you. I got my dream job working for People First of Wisconsin. I started out as an advocate specialist. I testified in front of Congress on guardianship, abuse and neglect, the submaiden wage. I advocated against using the R word. I advocated to close the institution that I lived in, and others don't need them. They need to come home, and as we say in People First, free our people, free our people. I wrote a book about my life with Bob Kahn and Carolyn Hoffman. I wrote it to let people know I had a rough life. I turned my life around, and I'm advocating not only for myself, but other people with intellectual disabilities. People don't know our stories because we never have been able to talk about our stories. We've been sheltered either in an institution or a special school or whatever. Now it is our time to shine and rise. From being an advocate specialist, I have been the executive director of People First Wisconsin. I didn't want to do it at first. The BP board helped, and they were a big role model to me, and they gave me lots of encouragement, lots. And then this was the opportunity for the first person with intellectual disabilities to be a director, so I couldn't pass that up either. We're gonna sign up for that. Now we can, this is for tomorrow with Leah, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of responsibilities. I manage 5 staff. I have job coach that helps me. I also have regular meetings with our governor's office. The last thing we talked about was shortage of caregiving, and to let them know we want 2 institutions closed. And as long as I'm alive, I'm going to be fighting for them to be closed. Hopefully they close before I go over to Rainbow.
Why did you want to participate in this video?
I want self advocates to make sure that they know they have a voice. They need to speak up, and you need to be listened to. No more of somebody talking for you. Parents, they don't know what you want either until you speak up for yourself. Okay? You shouldn't be treated any differently from your sisters and brothers. I want people to know your life can change with supports. I want people to live out their life in the community like I am. We have young legislators in there now. They need to go and look at these centers. We need them to really take it to heart. We got to do better. This is the 21st century, and these institutions need to be closed. I get afraid.
Do you need help?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll walk with you.
Thanks.
Of course.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course.
Here is a story I like to tell. The size of a goldfish depends on the size of the place where it lives. Thank you for helping me.
Of course. Have a good day.
If you keep a goldfish in a small fish bowl, it stays small. But if you place the goldfish in a large pond, it gets much bigger. People are like goldfish. If we live and work in a small area, not getting a chance to meet people and try new things, our lives stay small. But if we live and work in many different and challenging places with many different people, our lives grow big. And we can do more than anyone ever dreamed we could do. Choose the pond, not the fishbowl.
Cindy's story continues. She is now working on her second book.
Can we give it up for Cindy Bentley? Cindy? You can always find her at Barnes and Noble, right in Glendale, Wisconsin, at Bayshore Town Center. Cindy, I got some questions to ask. So I got some questions to ask, and it's going to be the same way like it was in May. So we are on.
Okay.
So Cindy, you said in the documentary that, and you said it before, that you had a guardian and that you actually went and had your guardianship canceled. So I want to ask you about going to court and getting your rights restored.
So I found out about voting. I found out about voting because there was, oh, can you hear me now? I found out about voting. And so I asked my guardian if I could vote. I said, I still need your help to help me. And she said she would do that. We went to the judge. What an interesting judge. Rest of our judges in Milwaukee. This judge didn't know what he was getting into, I guess. He asked the dumbest question. Do you know right from wrong? I thought about this for a minute. I like Oreo cookies, eat them almost every day. Except I haven't, because I've been here, but at home I do. So I said, if I ate 9 cookies and I got sick, I know right from wrong. That judge changed his attitude and gave me back my rights. I had to come up with something that was practical, and he was a great judge. And then he said I taught him something. And so he said the next person was going to come in, for asked him, he was going to change his attitude. That's what he told me. I will, and I wasn't trying to change his attitude, but if you're going to ask me a question, I didn't have that much time to try to think of something. So what I think of, what I do every day, I eat, ask Nancy, I eat lots of Oreo cookies. Love them. So 9 cookies probably would have gave me a very bad stomach. One time I did eat more than him, and I had a stomach ache, but he didn't know that. But so yeah, that's how I got the guardianship back.
That is amazing. And now we have the supportive decision making, which you can stop at the board's table to get some information about. Okay, next slide, please. So Cindy, you did talk about being an athlete and a global messenger for Special Olympics. And I got some questions for you. Okay, when did you first get involved with Special Olympics? That's question 1. What sports do you play? Question 2. And question 3 is what other activities did you do with Special Olympics?
Well, how I got involved with the Global Messenger program was Athlete for Leaders. That's how I found my voice. And with Jeannie Hobet and her husband, they were, and so I thought I'd take it. I didn't know I was getting into, but that joining the Athlete Leadership Program, I told my very first story about my life to Mrs. Schreiber. I was told that Mrs. Schreiber was always in the front, and she always wanted the athletes to try to not be perfect, but and so I had to make sure I had this right. So what happened is I had to introduce a doctor. It was the first time I ever spoke to any people. It was called it was a mental retardation, and I had to. Okay. So I had to introduce a doctor from the Soviet Union. So, and his name was hard. So I practiced in the mirror. His name was Dr. Lubowski. I introduced him. First I told my story, and then about my story. That's how my story got started. And then I introduced Dr. Lubowski from the Soviet Union on mental retardation. And the Soviet Union, they do different, every country is different with the disability movement. But Dr. Lubowski believed that everybody had a voice. And Mrs. Schreiber loved him. Because what Mrs. Schreiber wanted was us to be on the same playing field, not only in sports, but in leadership. And bless Mrs. Schreiber's heart, we lost her maybe 3 years ago. And if Mrs. Schreiber would have not started Special Olympics, we would not be in sports, because the school programs, they don't accept people like us so much. I know that from Nancy's son, is that he wanted to play volleyball, and, they want the top athletes at the schools. Well, I got Nancy's son in our Special Olympic team. He shined in track and volleyball. I said, Nancy, it's not too late for her son to sign up. And he loved it. And then he played basketball. And now he's on the cross country team. So this is what you got to do. Schools don't understand. We may run slower, but it's supposed to be inclusion. And now Special Olympics has unified sports. And it's good. And we fighted for that. So everything Mrs. Schreiber wanted, we have now. Yeah.
Thank you, Cindy, for sharing that. Next one here, this one here, in May, we celebrated Mother's Day, and she is a pet mom. But We just celebrated Global Cat Day, so happy Global Cat Day, and talk about your babies.
Well, my baby is probably the spoilest cat in the world. Ask Nancy, I could be somewhere. Now I'm bringing every trip I go on. Miss Kitty gets I brought her some cat treats from here. Treats. She has Halloween toys and Thanksgiving toys now. And then what I do is I donate them, then wash them up and donate them to the no kill. And then I start over again. My baby gets a lot of toys, lots of attention. And I tell you what, when I first moved to my apartment, I was very lonely because I ain't never lived in an apartment. I just lived in a group home from the institution to with a lot of people to a group home with 5 people or 4, I think. And then all of a sudden, the person said, "You want to move to an apartment?" And so the first apartment I was in, you didn't know, you couldn't have a cat or had all these crazy roommates in a nice way. I said, "I don't want any more roommates, sorry." But my friend Mary Beth said, "You should get a cat." So I got a cat. Dory wasn't the first one. Dory's the 4th cat. They go over the rainbow, get older, but the longest cat I had was Blossom. Lived 31 years. A Siamese with a terrible attitude, but really stubborn but she loved me. With people, mm-mm. Mhm. And then Dory, why she's called Dory, named her Dory Explorer. She was all over. I mean, she still gets in the bookcases and everything. And matter of fact, one day I came home. She's on top of the refrigerator. I don't know how long she was up there. I was gone for hours. And I said, maybe I should just leave your little butt up there to learn you a lesson. She hasn't been up there up there again. And I felt sorry for her. You know how that goes. But my cat is like therapy. She knows when I'm sick. A couple of weeks ago, I had a serious medical condition. She didn't leave my side in the bed. She knows I get up and I'm very interactive. When I don't get up, she knows I'm sick. And she stayed there, slept with me, and just made me feel good. And I think when I'm sad, she knows it. But now I got a new couch, really nice couch. It's got recliner on each side. I put a blanket in the middle, and we both fall asleep on it. We bond, so she has her own and we bond more now on that couch than we did the old one. So if you guys are sad advocates, anybody, I think cats are pretty loyal. They do have their little attitudes. And me and Sydney, my coworker here, I see Sydney's backside of her cat, and she sees my. All of a sudden, Dory will jump up, you know. And I said, "Sorry, guys." And one day I was on a long-term care, and I don't know who was talking, and Dory went put her face right in the thing. And they said, "Well, who is it?" I said, "My cat, sorry. She wanted to check you guys out to make sure you're all right." It's stray people, so that's right.
That is a funny story about. Can you imagine the cat wants to get into the meeting too, want to be sworn in?
But I think she's scared. I think she's scared of.
Oh, scared the mess out of her. All right, we're going to talk about some friends. You have a lot of friends, many, many friends. And when we was in May, that whole community room was packed. It was packed with friends. And I want to ask you, do people know you when you go out in the community, and how do you develop friendly relationships when you're out in the community? Like,
When I'm in Milwaukee, I'm at Byron. I think because I've been on TV, our local TV so much, and that. Ask Nancy, I was in Byron, not Byron, Trader Joe's. And of course, some of my good friends, Sam, and some people, they work at And we're always in Trader Joe's is so nice. But I always give Sam a hug. I always give, and I can be somewhere where I'm normal. Cindy, how are you today? It's like I have made so many friends because I treat people the way I want to. But I want every person to have friends. I mean, I was in my favorite store in the life is Aldi's. I love it. I go there every week just because I like it. So, and then in this picture you see here, Barbara Becker, which used to work for Disability Rights, I took her to lunch at forgot the name of that restaurant, but yeah, in Barnes and Noble, I'm always meeting. And then these are my good friends, Elsa Bautista, her daughter. We go a lot of places. She takes me a lot of places. And the last thing we went to the Brewers game. Let's not talk about the Brewers. I'm still getting over the shock of that game. So I'm a big sport fan. So, I just make friends and try to treat people. I don't count my friends. I'm just glad I have friends. Okay. Here you go.
Thank you, because friends are wonderful and they stick with you, and some leave and some stay. And now we're going from relationships to friends, to from friendship to faith. And I want to ask you this, Cindy. You have mentioned and made about your faith. How did you find the church that you go to now?
Well, I've always been a church person, even at the institution. I started going to church at the institution because I was at my wit's end and I got my faith. I was brought up Catholic, which is fine. I didn't know I didn't know what faith I should be, but I was brought up Catholic and it's just fine. So when I got out of the institution, I went to St. Martin de Porciúncula Catholic Church. One day I decided I would venture out over to Riverside High School where Eastbrook was. Guess what? Where I've been for since then. I liked the music. It wasn't the Catholic Church. I wanted to just the music was kind of boring in a nice way. I'll just be honest with now so I've been at East, I love it. I found my faith and I think that's what saved my life. I'm not really like to read the Bible because I think the Bible's a little hard, but I took a Bible study class, a woman, but I pray as I go, but I needed my faith. And don't matter what church you go to, as long as you always, I remember my pastor said we have in our heart wherever we go. But I feel good when I go to church. And then the last year and a half, I added, oh God, I decided I need to do some more serving in church. So what did I get into? The 3 and 4 year olds, the nerd, the school, and I missed 2 weeks. Got a call from the head teacher. Are you coming back in next week? And I said, yes. The little sweeties are not cooperating. They want me back. So now you see, and and I've been doing it for a year and a half. I'm tired when I'm done because they are very active, but it's good for me. And they kind of the 4 year olds got a little mouth on them. One of them told me, I'm not your mother. So I told them, as long as you're in this classroom, I have to keep you safe. And the only way you can go to your mother if you're sick. So one day, one of them decided to try to call wolf. I said, your mother said if you had 100 temperature, I can come get her. He cut up so bad, but it was all right. He got over it. But I took that on, and what a rewarding. And my pastor got a call from the parents. When I'm not there, the kids just miss me. And that's the truth. I miss them too. So I bought some stickers for them and some treats after the fact. Because and the parents are always trying to get. I said, I don't need anything. I'm just enjoying. 'Cause you're the sunshine of of the Sunday school class. So yep.
That's good that you keep your faith going and keep yourself involved in anything, because if you don't use it, you will lose it. Or if you if you rusted up, you used up. And let's keep going. Just keep yourself going. And we're going from faith to communication. And so, Cindy, I want to know, do you call, do you text, do you message? Because I know you do a lot for me. If you don't see me here, you go, this is Cindy. Are you okay?
Oh, I do it all. Now I'm learning how to do some of it, but I text almost every day. I usually text Nancy every morning and I say, "Good morning, Nancy. Hope to find you well, and have her day start out good." I just I'm savvy. I'm always on one time I was on the Facebook. I looked at the time, it was like 10:30 at night. So I better get myself to bed. But yeah, I'm a Facebooker. But what I do is I don't only Facebook people I know. I don't get into the mess. Oh, not the mess. What is that? Tick? No, thank you. Yeah. Very careful and I'm learning to look at the emails because there's some tricky ones. The other day, you owe $45. I ordered something. I didn't order a thing. I'm scared. Usually if I order, Nancy helps me order safely because there's crooks out there.
Yep. So be careful that you do stuff. And now we go from communication to celebration. So, Cindy, you just celebrated a birthday on Friday. So we want to wish you a wonderful, happy birthday.
Yep.
And she turned another age. Thank God. She's 21.
30 and holding at 30.
Well, we're holding at 30, 30. All of us, everybody, every woman in here is 30. Only the ones that are 29, you got another
I
year.
know somebody that is 30 in this room.
Yeah. So we're not going to say anything. Every woman is 30 already. Okay, so
Holding at 29.
we're holding at 29. I'm still 29 after some few years. So, how do you celebrate holidays and your birthday, and why are these ways to celebrate important to you?
At the institution, it's very lonely because what I found out from my aunt, she's a good aunt, they tried to bring me home on holidays and that, but the state had because of my mother's situation, trying to kidnap me from the center to begin with. And then there was some more things that they put a lot of restrictions. So they stopped my family from coming to see me. So when everybody went home for holidays, I had to stay there. There was no decorations up, nothing. And I said, when I get out of this place, ask Nancy, I want you to talk about this in my apartment.
Nancy, will you please come up here?
No.
Please.
Everything knows. I want you to know this, what I do.
Well, are you talking about your decorations?
Yeah.
So Cindy is her birthday is her favorite time, and she loves fall in general. She's a fall baby who loves fall. So you do little things throughout the year, I think, that help your house be a home, right? Among them are you get fresh flowers pretty regularly, and you get yourself a balloon for the different time of year. So like right now you got, I think, a birthday balloon, and then I got you a fall balloon as a birthday gift. And but those types of things really make you feel good. You've got other little happy birthday cards and things around your apartment. And
Pumpkin farm. I think I was gonna get there this year to the pumpkin farm, so I got pumpkins because it was just so busy. I've been so busy. So Elsie Bosisa said, you are not gonna be, we went to the pumpkin farm. I have everything. I've got everything like pumpkin spice, everything. I love it. And at the institution, I feel so sad because I didn't get to celebrate how just celebrated with the people that were mean there. The staff were not nice. No. I didn't do anything wrong and they still were mean to me. If I was good or whatever, they were always, it was horrible. So I said, when I got out, I celebrate every holiday. And I just need to do it. Being a little girl and Christmas or my birthday is more important than Christmas because I never got to celebrate. When I celebrate my birthday, we celebrate at Cheesecake Factory. And then I brought 60 cookies of bowling, celebrate my friends. And then I still have like 4 more birthday things because how my birthday fall, and I'm busy. So I have like 4 more birthday things to do, but guess what, guys? I'm celebrating my birthday. It's more important than Christmas, Thanksgiving. If you have a birthday, enjoy your birthday. And I'm thank God I got to the age I didn't know I was going to get this far from what the doctors said. Well, doctors are not always right. God is the one who's in charge of when I'm leaving this earth. Thank you.
So we go from celebration to inspiration. And I'm so glad to know Cindy for so many years. And and I knew her foster mother and her foster aunt. And when I first saw her, I was like, wow, this is an amazing person. So, and we did advocate together, and especially the institutions, my goodness. And well, one of the proud things that I remember was getting the R word removed, which we did. And I'm telling you, it was so echo because it's the acoustics in the Capitol. You should have heard us cheering. We was cheering and everything. Mr. Stryver and
not want the R word out because the coaches were writing it. She wanted to hear from the athletes. Athletes wrote, said athletes, you needed to write about to Mrs. Stryver. Mrs. Stryver even got rid of the word, R word. And she didn't want to hear from the coaches and big shots. She wanted to see what the athletes had to say. Guess what? She listened to us.
that's right. Nothing without us about us, as we have termed this the theme of this conference. But that was before time, so it's nothing about us without us. And so Cindy called me her sister because we advocated together. We have done stuff together, and it's just a wonderful thing. And she inspired me. And earlier this year, I have moved into my apartment, and I'm so grateful for her. She has helped me a lot to be able to say, be yourself and do what you need to do. Make sure you still got to work, but still do what you need to do. You first, when you're on the clock, you're working. When you off the clock, be you. Relax and be you. And that's what inspired me just to keep going, keep moving, because not only that I did a lot of things, she did a lot of things. And I'm encouraging you to do a lot of things, which we are going to get to that in a few moments. Yeah, we got to finish. We're going to finish. So we're going from inspiration. Oh yeah. So Cindy, you did go to Washington DC some years ago with Phil Calissa. Hi Phil, we love you. And so can you talk about what you did at in DC, in Washington DC?
Yeah, we went. I forgot they have it everywhere. Sydney went too. You went this year, and anyway, what I forgot what it was called. the national, yes. First time there. And then our president, Jennifer Kern, was unfortunately, she passed away shortly after that trip. But I wasn't even thinking of this. There was a lot of stairs, but I climbed up the stairs Martin Luther King climbed up. It was a lot of them, short legs and everything else. I was up. But I think what was important that was able to do what Martin Luther King did, climb those stairs. On the same, I'm a big fan of Martin Luther King. And the reason I am, he fought for all rights for people with disabilities and without. Wanted us all to be together, not separate. And for long years, people with disabilities were in institutions and we were not never seen in our, we were not out. We wasn't in rooms like this. And so now we're here together and that's the way it should be. And so I realized about the civil rights. I was born in 57. I was right I was a baby, but it was the 60s, I think, was the worstest. But and there was a lot of segregation in that. I didn't know that because I was a baby, and I'm glad I was. It would never change my mind about how I treat people. I don't care the color of your skin. It's not the color of the skin. It's how you treat people, and it's what's in your heart. That's all I'm going to say on that one.
Yes, and I'm just so grateful that we can all sit together because they used to have a rope on in the middle of the aisle. One one go here, one go there. And different fountain and all of that. I'm just so glad. Even for people with disabilities, we went through our segregation also in the 70s and 80s. But I'm just so grateful that we don't have to worry about that anymore. So now we go from inspiration to volunteering. And so she volunteers. I'm telling you, I thought I'm the volunteer queen. She's a volunteer queen. So what are some places that you have volunteered, Cindy?
For Special Olympics, I did, if you see this, there was a Dunkin' Donut by our house, Special Olympics. Every year they have that in probably before school. And we do it with the law enforcement. And so Glendale and Whitefish Bay have theirs. So one day, when nobody wanted to get there, out there with the bucket. I said, if you want to get money, we have to be. I said, you guys just go ahead and stand there. Guess how much money we made in the bucket in 1.5 hours? $2,760 in there. And this one lady came in, some lady wrote a check to us for $500. Special Olympics said, I said to the president, what happened? Well, you can't just stand in the door and be scared. I was forthright with them in a little bit. We need money. I mean, for Special Olympics. I volunteered there, my church, Hunger Task Force. I do the Jew. We Havarine program. Now, Havarine program is a Jewish program, but you don't have to be Jewish. It is a special program in Milwaukee through the JCC and Fox Point. It's so it's all inclusion. And then we have a friendship circle. And you guys have a friendship circle up in Madison, and they will accept your daughter if she wants. You don't have to be. It's a great program, but you have to be around her. Nancy knows we go on a lot of, and Sam's dad. So we go on her name is Sarah, and then we have Sarah moved up, and then Rachel is a new. We go all over. We go to farmer markets. We go everywhere. We do the food pantry though, the Jewish food pantry, and there's a lot of all kinds of people. That's not Jewish people that go to, and we donate food too. So we bring food or money. I usually just bring money and give them, and so they know that we're helping. That's what Sarah wants us to do, so we do that.
Wonderful, just to be able to volunteer. And disability people with disabilities have to volunteer because we have to do harder than anybody because they're looking at us, and we're looking at them, they're looking at us. We might as well just work together.
Tone that we are willing to get our hands dirty or whatever we need to do.
Right.
Regular people, they call themselves, they want a handout. I'm not about a handout. We need to really help.
That is right. That's right. We got to put our hands to the plow, never look back. So we go from volunteering to recognition. When they did the documentary and they show pictures of our governor and a lot of people, you have met many people. You met 2 presidents, you met our governor, our mayor. And so what helps you to be comfortable in these leadership roles? You've been an advocate specialist, a global messenger, and now an executive director, and also being on so many boards and councils. What makes you comfortable in this?
I'm going to tell you what we've been saying here all day. Have to be around the table. We have to be around the table. I can be on 10 boards, or if you're not accepted on the board, then you're not around the table. And you have to have your voice. All you guys in this room, advocates and not advocates, even if you're a parent, you guys can get on, if you got kids in school, get on the school board. They need you because you need to be there advocating for your kids. You need to be advocating, and then, for a lot of things, and that's what it's about. You need to be around that table. And if they don't like it, too bad. You have a right to be around that table. We are paying, I'm a taxpayer, and so are you. And nothing changes unless you do it. And another thing I'm going to say, please vote. We need the disability vote. Everybody, we need every vote, but they're trying to stop people from disabilities to voting. And they ain't stopping me because I'm voting. I can't, if I don't vote, then I don't have nothing to complain about. And my members know, I'll start my pity thing. I'm going to tell them, I start Monday, because we got 3 weeks? I'm going to tell them starting Monday every day, if you're not ready to vote, go vote. I'm not saying that this is an easy election, but we have rights. And then I read up 1900s, women couldn't vote. So all the women in this room, only the husbands or men could vote. So we got to vote because we have to do it. I don't care who you're voting for. That's not my business, but we got to vote. And if you have children that are 18 or people with disabilities, please have them vote. And don't let, I know it's hard, and you can call the voting coalition and they will help you because they are trying everything. We've had a couple lawsuits, right? Supreme Court on those crazy drop boxes. See, they're just trying to stop people from doing it because, and minorities too, but they're not stopping me. I fight enough to get my guardianship back. I'm going to vote. And that's all I can tell you. I'm not going to preach to the choir with you. And so these, like meeting, like the governor, and I am still a person that I don't get a big head. I'm happy to be the honors, but I'm on a mission at the same time. Meeting 2 presidents, I don't care about their politics. I'm just happy to do it. That's all. So that's all I'm going to tell you. Right?
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. And so we went from recognition to advocacy, and People First Wisconsin started almost 25 years ago. And so it was formed into an advocacy group organization. And so we have chapters within the state, we have advocates within the state. And while we're sitting here now, we're sitting in one of the chapters the Madison-Dane County chapter. And so those of you that's in that area, if you're in Sauk County, if you're in Columbia, if you're in Dane County, we want you in that chapter. And it's an amazing chapter. Meetups that happens, they give them a time to be able to release and to be able to talk to other advocates, and we have trainings and that happens, and we have speaker series that we have that. Yeah, give them a little history on what happened.
It'll be quick, guys. People first was started with Lisa Mills, which she lives in Madison. She thought people with disabilities should have a voice, and it started in Scotland. It is an international movement. And I went to Scotland with Lisa, Mary Claire, and Lisa Gilson, and we spent a week over there to see how their services are. We're a lot ahead. They still have a lot of segregation over there, and in England, in Scotland, and that. So we are much better over here, but we still have isolation. Okay. And then the last, we got one more page, and then yeah, no, we got one more page.
We got one more page, and then we're going to do an activity.
Here that we're on time and to get everything.
So we want to make sure we're not keeping you until midnight.
I just want to make sure they get to ask me some questions.
Right. They will, Cindy. Thank you so much. You
Sure, till we get some people in here. I don't want to do all the talking either.
know.
Leaders,
So
yeah.
we go from advocacy to vacation, and you recently went to Boston.
Yeah, let me just.
So yeah, Can you tell us? I understand you traveled a lot for work and and all this. So what supports do you need to feel comfortable traveling?
Well, I want to say this. I've been all over. Never took a vacation. I usually take a vacation up to Mass. I have another friend, Michael. We've been friends 30 years. I come up here a lot, but I needed a real vacation. So I said, I always wanted to go to Boston, Massachusetts. So my friend Susan and her, and Patricia, we traveled to Boston. My God. And they asked me what I wanted to do. Well, I'm a Brewer fan, but I went to a Boston Red Sox stand where the Yankees played Boston. But guess who won? Not the Yankees. Boston beat them. I know they're in the playoffs. I'm not cheering for them. They were the most rudest, like our Cubs. And so, of course, I was sitting by some Yankee fan. They said, where are you from? I said, I'm from Wisconsin. Oh, you're from that state where the Brewers play? I says, yep, sure am. And, so I went to a Boston Red Sox game. I ate a lot of seafood. I had breakfast in bed. I decided to do that. Had room service. And then I went to the Freedom Trail. I went to the Tea Party. And I found into the Jewish Holocaust. It's right there where our hotel was. And then there's two like shops on the other side. Me and shopping. But I bought Red Sox gear. I wore it to the Brewer game, and they said, boo. So I just did it out of spite. So I haven't worn it since, but I will. So I took a real vacation. And the guy right here, a couple years ago, I could have applied I wanted to just watch Michael in the international games. So we went to we went on a vacation after that. So it was so much fun. And so I have to guess where I'm going next year. Now I'm on vacation. I go to Washington D.C. for a lot of politics. I'm going on vacation for a week there to see museums, bookstores, and everything like. I'm take a vacation every year because I need to take one. And you know what? One day I like to go to Costa Rica. I would see it on Wheel of Fortune. It looks kind of interesting. So when I get a little bit, I don't like planes that much, but I'm working hard and I need to take a vacation out of the city of Milwaukee and out of the city of Madison. But I have to, it's hard, it would be hard for me to travel by myself because I just need some direction and I'm kind of don't know how to get to the gates by myself. So that's all right. I'd rather take somebody and be safe. Okay, thank you.
Somebody just said they'll go with you. I'll go with you too. I'll go with you too. I think we all just make it a trio or a quartet here. So we want to hear from you hear from you guys, from you folks, and we're going to do an activity. We're going to talk with each other, but I wanted to hear some questions from you about. We're going to talk about volunteering, seeking a board or organization, finding a faith community, advocating with a group or by yourself, building friendship, joining a team or traveling. What else you can do? What else can help you explore something new? You know, it's like you got to step out to find out. If you never done something that you never done, if you want something that you never done, do something that you never do before. So, and what is a good first step you could take? So we want to hear from you guys. So Nancy, would you please take the mic around? We want to hear from you, but go ahead and ask us some questions.
Sorry, Cindy, but I'm so excited about this new thing that you are doing. I want to let you know that Cindy is now a member of the Community Advisory Committee to the University Center for Excellence in Developmental Disabilities, also AKA as the Weizmann Center. So now she's gonna be guiding research about individuals with developmental disability as part of this national movement. And I hope they are ready for you because I think that's the last frontier. And we need you so much, Cindy. Biomedical research, we are not guinea pigs, we are human beings. Okay.
Thank you for sharing your amazing story. I think probably two very important points that you mentioned cannot be understated. First, I completely believe in the importance of volunteering. The reality is, as much as we might dream of a world where people with disabilities can be self-supporting, the reality is we live in a world where employment isn't always viable for people with disabilities. However, a lot of people I know with disabilities who've been shut out of employment have created amazing, meaningful identities themselves as the king and queens of volunteering and community service in their communities. Indeed, when I was in high school and special education, a requirement was made of the special education students that was not of the regular education students. All special ed students had to meet a minimum of community service in order to graduate from special education. The reason was quite simple. The teachers wanted to prepare us for the possibility we might become active volunteers in our communities. Second, we cannot understate the fact that we live in a country where the Constitution has given the power of disability services to the states. Every state treats people with disabilities differently. And one thing I have learned traveling around different states as an advocate, before I walk into a state to do advocacy, I make sure to do my homework and research what the rules are in that state.
I believe in the power of volunteering too, but I think for me, a big piece of it is post-secondary education. As far back as I remember, going back through all my years within special education myself, all I wanted to do was go to college. I would argue passionately with everyone from about age 12 on up about going to college. Nobody believed me, and nobody really wanted to help me get to college. I had to find my own pathways, and volunteering is a pathway to higher education. There is this great program called the AmeriCorps. It is about gaining those skills and getting a chance to do that kind of volunteer work. But you know what it ends with? It ends with something called the Siegel Award, and it's money towards post-secondary education. I went to 2 years in Massachusetts of college that were not that left me with no credit to transfer back to Wisconsin with. Everything, every gain I have made in the last 2 decades was by coming back to my home state, was by going through different college programs here and finding my own pathways, which is what I would recommend. You have to be a trailblazer. You have to push the limits. You have a goal, you can get there. Volunteering can do it, but it's not the only pathway. There are other pathways. There's always a new trail to be blazed.
Oh, Don.
Okay, it's me. I try to help people first out getting here to the conferences and plus working together and how much, if you get the money and grants and that stuff, try to help out and try to get down here, and I help them a lot, even Cindy too, and everybody else. If we work together on it more, it'll be a lot more fun, and we'll work together as a team. Plus, like me, I got a little disability, and I didn't expect this towards it. I got it. So I'm happy on that. And I'll help you out the best I can.
And I think it's about 2:30. So, and I think that's a lovely, oh, you one more?
Cindy, you know, I've been trying to find a job, right? And starting on the 28th of this month, I will be doing a I think it's 9-week paid job experience at JCC Rainbow Camp, helping with the bio farm and all that. Yep, and I'm excited. And if I see you, I'll let you know how it goes. You're an inspiration, Cindy. You always are.
Oh, we had one more. Okay, then this is it then.
Okay.
Yeah, I had the full Cindy. Yeah. My name is Emily and I live in Fond du Lac. And my inspiration goes to Cindy Bentley because she's she's a proud what's she called? Director of People First, and she has been in our lives since forever, actually. And I actually wanted to show you something that is very inspirational to you. It's part of the it's part of our Special Olympics community. And I won actually. It was in Menasha where they are, and we won first place on it for boy in Menasha, actually.
Yeah. Well, thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much for everything.
I want to thank everybody for coming and making sure that those of you that got continuing education units, please see the room monitor in the back for the secret word. And I want to end with this: keep hope alive. And remember, there is hope.
Another thing to the advocates. Now, I expect next year when I see you, you're out of that fishbowl. You're out of the fishbowl, and you got amazing parents who can help you get out of that fishbowl. Okay? So I'm going to ask you next year, and when I see you, are you out of the fishbowl? And if you're not, we're just going to have to get you out of the fishbowl. Okay. There you go.
Don't forget to fill out your surveys and enjoy a safe journey home. And we'll see you guys next year, hope willingly. Thank you.